Have you ever really, truly thought about dimensions? I mean, beyond the three we walk around in every day, there's another one we're always moving through, and that's time. Today, we're going to dive into a totally mind-bending explainer from the one and only Neil deGrasse Tyson about how space and time are just fundamentally linked, and we'll see what that means for everything from surgery and prisons to, yes, flying cars. You ready? Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's start with a really simple statement. Imagine I say to my friend, Chuck, I'll meet you tomorrow at Starbucks. Now, that sounds like a plan, right? But if you're Chuck, what's the one absolutely critical piece of info that's missing? You know where to go, but you have no idea when. You could be sitting there all day long.
And that's really the heart of the matter. To actually meet up with someone, you need coordinates in both space and time. Saying you'll meet at noon somewhere in North America is completely useless, right? And it's the same thing as saying you'll be at Starbucks sometime tomorrow. You need both to pinpoint that exact moment where you and your coffee can connect.
And there's this fantastic term for this, a world line. It's your own personal path through all four dimensions of space-time. For our world lines to actually cross, whether that's meeting a friend for coffee or, a car speeding through an intersection, we have to be in the same place at the same time. If you're even a little off on either of those coordinates, your world lines just slide right past each other.
So now that we've got that fundamental idea down, let's step back a bit. We're going to build our whole understanding of reality right from the very beginning. Let's start with dimension number 1.
Okay, so it all starts with a simple line. That's one dimension for you, just length. Now if you add a second dimension, width, you get a flat surface, a plane, a 2D world. And then, of course, you add the third dimension, height, and boom! Suddenly you have the rich, three-dimensional world we all live in, with length, width, and height to move through.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Imagine a universe filled with 2D beings living on that flat plane. To each other, they would only ever see an outer edge, basically just a line. But for us, from our perspective up here in the third dimension, we could look down on their entire world and see right inside them. We'd see their 2D hearts, their 2D lungs, everything, all at once.
All right, get ready for this, because this is where the whole concept just explodes. We're going to take that exact same logic, the one we just used for the 2D world, and we're going to turn it right back around on ourselves.
So if we, from our 3D world, can see all the insides of a 2D creature, what could a being from a fourth spatial dimension see when it looks at us? Well, the answer is everything. Our skin, what we think of as our outer boundary, would be completely transparent to them.
And this leads to this absolutely wild idea Tyson calls dimensional surgery. A surgeon from the fourth dimension could, in theory, reach directly into your body, pluck out your appendix, and then pull their hand back out without ever breaking your skin. To us, it would look like some kind of impossible magic trick. But to them, it's as simple as us reaching down and picking up a pencil.
And this quote from Tyson just nails it perfectly. To a 4D being, our insides are completely exposed and accessible. They could just reach in and grab whatever they wanted. We would literally be like that old board game Operation, with all our little organs just sitting there, totally out in the open. It's a little creepy, but it's an incredible thought.
Let's keep exploring this idea with another really powerful analogy, escaping from prison. Because as you're about to see, the rules of being trapped completely change when you can add another dimension to the mix.
First, let's just think about our own relationship with time. In a very real sense, we are all prisoners of this exact moment, the present. We can't hit rewind and go back to the past, and we can't fast forward to see the future. We are locked on this one-way street. But what if we weren't?
So, think of it like this. How do you trap a 2D being? Simple. You just draw a square around it. For that little flatlander, those lines are insurmountable walls. But for us in 3D, we can just reach in, lift it up and over the line. Escape is easy. Now, apply that to us. How could you escape a locked, sealed 3D room? Well, if the fourth dimension is time, you could escape by just moving to a point in time before the door was ever locked. The walls are still there, but in a different moment, they aren't a prison at all.
I know, so far these ideas feel enormous, almost cosmic. But in this last part, Tyson brings it all right back down to earth with some examples that are surprisingly familiar. It turns out we're already using these ideas more than we think.
Okay, get this. Take something as simple as a knot in a shoelace. In our 3D world, that knot is a real, stable thing. But if you could just nudge that string through a fourth spatial dimension, you could pull on the ends, and the knot would just unravel itself. Poof, gone. The very rules of what a knot even is would completely change. It just shows how reality itself is tied to the dimensions we can see.
All right, for our last little thought experiment, let's talk about something everybody dreams of: flying cars. But let's ask a really basic question. Why do we even want them? I mean, beyond just being cool, the real reason is pretty simple. We want to get over all the traffic. We want to escape the gridlock of a two-dimensional road.
And this is where Tyson gives us this brilliant, simple twist on the whole idea. He says we already have flying cars. It's called the subway, or a freeway overpass.
What he means is that we are already using a higher dimension to solve a lower dimensional problem. Traffic is a 2D problem, right? It's just cars stuck on a flat surface. So what do? We build an overpass that goes up, or a subway that goes down. We are literally using the third dimension to completely bypass the problem. We're already dimensional problem solvers.
So, that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. We use the third dimension to solve 2D problems like traffic every single day. If you had that exact same freedom of movement through the fourth dimension, through time, what problems could you solve then? What would you change? And maybe more importantly, where's the first place you would go?